Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a truly fascinating space, right where developmental disability support meets the absolute cutting edge of neuroscience. We're going to unpack the science and the real-world application of a tool called NeuroAudia. We'll be zeroing in entirely on the mechanisms behind sound therapy and how it's being used, literally right now, to support families, classrooms, and individuals. Now, think about this for a second. What if your nervous system understood music better than words? It's kind of a profound thought, right? If you're a parent or a caretaker of someone with a developmental disability, you already know firsthand that finding effective, reliable tools for sensory regulation, well, it can be an exhausting journey. Sometimes verbal communication or traditional soothing methods just don't bridge that gap when sensory overload hits. But what if we could speak directly to the nervous system using just rhythm and frequency? Section 1. The Science of Sound, Bridging Melody and Neuroscience. So NeuroAudia isn't just some relaxing playlist that you toss on in the background. It's an active therapeutic instrument. Through some really precise technical design, using things like rhythmic entrainment and layered frequencies, it actually synchronizes with your brainwaves. By using a mechanism called auditory driving, the acoustic rhythms match and then gently guide the tempo of your neural oscillations. It basically transforms standard musical elements into a biological language, a language that communicates directly with the nervous system, turning sound into an active, neurologically tuned response. And what exactly are these aligned frequencies targeting? Well, the science aims specifically at calm, focus, sensory integration, emotional regulation, and renewal. This is practical sound therapy designed to bypass complex cognitive processing, so it's not just something the user hears, it's something their nervous system inherently understands and reacts to, actively triggering these very specific states of regulation from the inside out. Section 2, Finding Calm at Home, the Family Experience. For one mother, the integration was absolutely transformative. She noted simply, "It made our day-to-day so much easier." But you might be wondering, how do families actually use this in a busy, chaotic household? It's remarkably straightforward. Step 1, you identify a high-stress transition, like getting ready for school or sitting down for dinner. Step 2, introduce the synchronized sound via headphones about 5 minutes before the activity begins. And step 3, you just allow the nervous system to naturally regulate, turning a potentially chaotic transition into a smooth, manageable routine. You know, a lot of families face years of exhausting trial and error searches, just trying to find ways to help a loved one feel regulated and at ease. It can honestly feel like an endless cycle. But when you introduce a tool built on targeted sound therapy, that exhausting search often completely transforms. Families report seeing this immediate calm and comfort that truly stands out, a very distinct shift that replaces years of frustration with real-time relief. A brother who was trying to support his sister described this exact change so candidly. He said, "She was just calm." And that's not something we usually see. That neural synchronization we were just talking about, this is exactly what it looks like in real life. Families are actively feeling and noticing a distinct level of comfort that previously felt, honestly, entirely out of reach. Section 3, Focus in the Classroom, Expanding the Impact. And the impact scales up beautifully when you move from the living room into a highly structured group environment. One teacher noted it works in the classroom and you can see it. A really simple guide for educators involves setting up a dedicated listening station right in the corner of the room. When a student starts to feel overstimulated or overwhelmed, they just walk over, grab the headphones, select a 5-minute regulation track, and return to their desk with improved engagement and a much calmer demeanor. It positively transforms the dynamic of the entire classroom. Section 4, Clinical Support and Care, the Professional Perspective. Service coordinators are really recognizing the profound impact of this tool as well, with one calling it the missing piece in client support. When working closely with individuals with developmental disabilities, professionals are seeing this technology drastically reduce behavioral disruptions, all while seamlessly supporting greater independence. It is just a highly practical resource that fits perfectly into real-world service delivery. Social workers echo this exact sentiment, stating simply, "I've seen it work in real situations." As a highly accessible tool utilized by mental health professionals in the field, it actively promotes emotional regulation, reduces physiological stress responses, and supports much more consistent engagement in daily tasks for individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. Section 5, a free, accessible tool, bridging the gap. Okay, here is arguably the most crucial point of this entire explainer. NeuroAudia is a completely free assistive tool. I really want to emphasize that. This complex neural synchronization and calming auditory support comes at absolutely no cost to families, caregivers, or educators. It completely bridges the massive gap between a critical everyday need and practical access. Because it's free, the barrier to entry simply vanishes. As one incredibly relieved father shared, it actually made a difference for him. He experienced profound relief seeing his son manage his sensory needs and reduce his anxiety. Finding solutions that truly work can be so overwhelming for parents, but having a highly effective, scientifically backed resource that removes the financial barrier entirely, the value of that simply cannot be overstated. This level of accessibility is an absolute game changer for educational programs, too. It helps those using it stay focused and engaged, as one disability services professional pointed out. Special education teams highly value this specific tool for reducing sensory overload, precisely because it enhances student outcomes without putting any added financial strain on school district budgets or care programs. We've seen how turning music into a therapeutic, scientifically tuned instrument is literally changing lives, from a calm morning routine at home to focused learning in the classroom, all without a price tag. So I'll leave you with this. How could synchronized sound transform your daily routine? Whether you're a parent, an educator, or just someone fascinated by the sheer power of the nervous system, it's pretty incredible to think about what happens when we finally speak the language our brains have been waiting to hear. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep asking those big questions. Let's dive